to YouTube as well. So we're going out to live DLive, which is where you should be watching this show if you care about free speech. Also going out to Fascist Bot, Facebook, Fastbook, whatever it's called today. And by the way, Facebook, this is not copyright music. Yeah, not copyright music. Stop playing with my shows. Every show you start muting bits of the show because you say it's copyright. Why didn't you ask me? Yeah, why didn't you ask me? Instead of just playing judge and jury. Mark Zuckerberg, you fascist. And that's exactly what you are, by the way. Yeah, okay, all right. Okay. Coming up in a few minutes, people. Coming up in a few minutes' time. Copyright free, Facebook, you little turds. Oh, blimey. Where's my guest? Oh, that's a point. Blimey, this music is tedious, isn't it? Whoa. Oh, sorry, I can't take that. Oh, this is better. Oh, there's Misty. God bless him. All right, okay. Copyright free, Facebook, you tossers! Stop muting my show with no excuse. Playing judge and jury, my God, I tell you what, you're just like bloody Theresa May with Brexit. Oh, blimey. Hold on. There we go. Yeah. Copyright free, Facebook, you tossers! Yeah. Okay, that's enough of that. Blimey, truth. Let's just get on with this thing. Okay, ready. Ready, mate. Aye. Howdy, folks. Good evening, good people. Welcome to the Daily Chaos. The show ain't daily, but the chaos is. And now, normalising paedophilia. Do you ever get the impression child rapists are protected at the expense of innocence stolen and lives permanently blighted, assisting family and societal breakdown, providing a heavy tax to welfare, and even seeing democracy being blackmailed? This is precisely the reality in the UK and elsewhere, as detailed by whistleblowers such as the great John Wedger on this show previously. Considering a more sinister angle, child campaigner Misty Barnes joins me now to discuss how the establishment is trying to normalise paedophilia, not least as a means to cover up their own depravity, but also as a process to undermine the very fabric of our culture. Frankfurt School people, yeah? Call in on Discord, folks. That's guv.li/rant. Not least of all if you happen to be my guest, Misty Barnes. Misty Barnes, I nearly said Mystic Meg, I think. And we'll see you in the comments. Share the show, like the page, subscribe to the thing. Watch it on DLive, for goodness sake, watch it on DLive. Oh, don't subscribe to fascism any more than we possibly have to, yeah? Right, okay. Predator Jeff, are you there, sir? Seeing as you seem to be on Discord. God bless you, mate.
Hi, Olly. How's it going, mate?
Yeah, not bad, man. I tell you what a day. What a day. Another massive snub for the global establishment today. Look, I'll tell you what. My guest, has had a bit of a problem because we didn't liaise properly to get him connected on Discord. And so I've asked him if he would kindly try to get himself on Discord in the next few minutes. So that we can have a chat, not just him and me, but with a few other folks who I'm sure would like to call in and have and discuss this. Oh, hold on a sec. Now, according to hold on, what's going on there? Oh, yeah. According to PJ, God bless him, from Axiom Curb, we're not going out on DLive, which isn't much good, is it? So hold on a sec. I'm just trying to get that going. Oh, it wants a thumbnail. It wants a thumbnail. I forgot to put the damn thumbnail in. Right, it's got a thumbnail. Let's see if that works. And so, yeah, now, okay, we should be... Yeah, okay, all right, we're going out now. We're going out on DLive now too. So, yeah, folks, sorry if you did try to go to DLive. My fault, I do apologize. We are now live on DLive as well. That is the place to watch this show. And if you do a show like this and you don't go out on DLive, you only go out on Facebook, you only go out on YouTube, why? Why are you supporting these networks? Facebook has admitted, Mark Zuckerberg has admitted that they suppress a page like mine by 90%. 90%. That means that if, 50 of you are watching, it should be more like 450. If it wasn't being suppressed by bloody fascist book, yeah, it's the same deal with YouTube. We have to support networks that support free speech, particularly when we're on the cusp of EU legislation such as Articles 11 and 13, where they're trying to close down free speech. Mark Zuckerberg, whatever his name is, with an F, I think it is, that he wants to help them. We need to make the point. Get on DLive, people, please. guv.li/chaos. Right there. That's the address. And that's the place. And please register. Yeah, please. I know it takes a couple of weeks to get your registration through with DLive. Such is their technology with blockchain technology. But once you do, you can comment. In the meantime, you can watch the show and you can still comment on Facebook. Please watch the show. Please get on the bandwagon with DLive. That's the place. I say this every show. I sound like a broken record, but it really, really is important, people. It really, really is. There's no point supporting networks that don't support us. We should be using them the same way that they use us for our data, etc., to spy on us, to find out what our politics are so they can go and tell the NSA, blah. We should be using them no more. Right. Okay. Rant over. I'll probably have a few more rants throughout the show. You know what? Okay. I'm going to, whilst I try and get my guest in here, I am going to show you a little bit of what's happened today with that press conference between Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump. So let's have a bit of a look at some of this. Now, the bottom line, the headline is that they both want peace, as opposed to had the other person got in off the back of that election, the one that called everybody else deplorables. Had she got in, what did she want to do with Putin? She wanted to impose a no-fly zone over Syria. In other words, 1 MiG or whatever it is they run these days goes up in the air. The US then, unless they do, pull back from the red line, shoot it down. And then you got war with not just Russia, but China. It's called a world war, people. That's what Hillary Clinton said in one of those debates with Trump. And he turned around the same debate. I watched all those debates, by the way. He turned around the same debate straight after that. And he said, you got to be nuts. I think it would be far, far better if we were friends with the Russians rather than provoking a world war. And, we saw it today. We actually saw that come into fruition today with this press conference where these two global leaders actually came together and disagreeing over so much stuff, disagreeing over Iran and all sorts. But nonetheless, when it comes to it, they had a level of understanding between two human beings. And that's an important thing, though. It's the kind of understanding that JFK got with Khrushchev, back there, off the back of that Cuban Missiles crisis. They founded an understanding between basically two statesmen. And we found that a little bit today, between two other statesmen. And basically they blew the whole, they want to put this kind of semi-cold war behind them and move on, And so it begs the question, who's been kicking up the turf here between the United States and Russia? Well, we know damn well who it is. It's the Democratic Party, yeah, the DNC. And this really cuts to it. This really cuts to the quick of that whole Russian story. And I want to play you the relevant bit. This is the part of the press conference that is most relevant, because what we're seeing today is a war, a great, great war, of which Brexit is one little part, an important part which we must win, but one part, just as the election of Donald Trump. Well, fingers crossed, my God. I mean, we're hoping he's not a deep state, fake, yeah, but everything he says leads you to believe, my God, it was just incredible that he would be, particularly with what he's done with Korea, which Obama never did, and so on and so forth, calling out the mainstream media for the fakery that it is, etc., etc. And I think that we need to now move on and find out who is destabilizing relations between, for example, the United States and Russia, between Britain and Russia, between whatever countries and Russia. Who is pulling the bear's tail? Who is it that needs to be held accountable for that so that we can have a more peaceable world off the back of it? And let's face it, it's Hillary Clinton and all of her bloody lot there. Soros!
Just now,
have a listen to this.
Denied having anything to do with the election interference in 2016. Every U.S. intelligence agency has concluded that Russia did. My first question for you, sir, is who do you believe? My second question is, would you now, with the whole world watching, tell President Putin, would you denounce what happened in 2016?
Hold on, whoa. Scouse Jack.
I've clicked that. Olly Conley, right?
Can you hear me, mate? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Misty Barnes?
I don't know.
He can't hear me. All right, okay. Look, I'm going to put it back on mute for a sec, but it did just pop up. I'll go back to that clip and I'll play with that and try and bring him in whilst I'm playing with that. But I'm going to mute him for a sec because we couldn't hear that audio because of that. I want you to hear this question too, yeah, because this is way, way more relevant than any of this nonsense that we've been hearing about. I don't know, May saying you've got to ask Putin about the chock-a-blocks or something like that. I mean, we're crying out loud. We're talking about world peace here. Never mind chock-a-blocks. All right, okay, listen to this.
Just now, President Putin denied having anything to do with the election interference in 2016. Every U.S. intelligence agency has concluded that Russia did. My first question for you, sir, is...
Yeah. And we know that the deep state's got their fingerprints all over the FBI, all over the CIA. Anyway, carry on.
Who do you believe? My second question is, would you now, with the whole world watching, tell President Putin, would you denounce what happened in 2016, and would you warn him to never do it again?
So let me just say that we have two thoughts. You have groups that are wondering why the FBI never took the server. Haven't they taken the server? Why was the FBI...
He's talking about Hillary's server, isn't he? That email server. Is it the one that she burned? Didn't she have a house fire? Awfully convenient. Anyway, carry on.
Told to leave the office of the Democratic National Committee. I've been wondering that. I've been asking that for months and months, and I've been tweeting it out and calling it out on social media. Where is the server? I want to know, where is the server, and what is the server saying? With that being said, all I can do is ask the question. My people came to me, Dan Coates came to me, and some others. They said they think it's Russia. I have President Putin. He just said it's not Russia. I will say this. I don't see any reason why it would be, but I really do want to see the server. But I have confidence in both parties. I really believe that this will probably go on for a while, but I don't think it can go on without finding out what happened to the server. What happened to the servers of the Pakistani gentlemen that worked on the DNC? Where are those servers? They're missing. Where are they? What happened to Hillary Clinton's emails? 33,000 emails gone, just gone. I think in Russia they wouldn't be gone so easily. I think it's a disgrace that we can't get Hillary Clinton's 33,000 emails. So I have great confidence in my...
33,000 emails go missing from the Secretary of State for the United States of America. Yeah? What's going on with that? Never mind the Russians and all these allegations and what have you. We know that they went missing. Anyway, carrying on.
Intelligence people, but I will tell you that President Putin was extremely strong and powerful in his denial today. And what he did is an incredible offer. He offered to have the people working on the case come and work with their investigators with respect to the 12 people. I think that's an incredible offer. Okay, thank you. Yes, please.
I'd like to add something to this. After all, I was an intelligence officer myself.
Okay, so this is where Putin could denounce Trump. He could go all sorts of different ways with this, yeah. But he's just, pointing out ex-KGB. He knows a thing or two about this. This is his take on the story. The first time, pretty much. Well, no, not the first time actually, but certainly the first time clearly in such an important scenario that he's talked about this.
And I do know how dossiers are made up. Just a second. That's the first thing. Now the second thing. I believe that Russia is a democratic state, and I hope you're not denying this right to your own country. You're not denying that United States is a democracy. Do you believe United States is a democracy? And if so, if it is a democratic state, then the final conclusion in this kind of a dispute can only be delivered by a trial, by the court, not by the executive, by the law enforcement.
In other words, put Hillary on trial.
For instance, the Concord company that was brought up is being accused. It's being accused of interference. But this company does not constitute the Russian state. It does not represent the Russian state. And I brought several examples before. Well, you have a lot of individuals in the United States. Take George Soros, for instance, with multi-billion capitals. But does that make him, his position, his posture, the posture of the United States? No, it does not. Well, it's the same case.
Interesting that he brings up Soros, no?
There is the issue of trying a case in the court. And the final, the final say is for the court to deliver. We are now talking about the private, the individuals, and not about particular states. And as far as the most recent allegation is concerned about the Russian intelligence officers, we do have an intergovernmental treaty. Please do send us the request. We will analyze it properly and we'll send a formal response. And as I said, we can extend this cooperation, but we should do it on a reciprocal basis, because we would await our Russian counterparts to provide us access to the persons of interest for us, who we believe can have something to do with the intelligence services. Let's discuss the specific issues and not use the Russia and the US relationship as a loose change for this internal political struggle.
A question for President Putin.
Right.
Thank you. Two questions.
That's it. That's the end of that quote. Okay, so very, very interesting. The news agenda now is being forced to move on to Hillary Clinton, to the DNC, to that, what's her name, Schultz woman, who was the chairwoman, to the Donna Brazils of this world. It's putting it on his head. It's throwing it back. It's saying, what is going on now? It's basically taking the fight to the deep state. And that's where it needs to go, because these are the people that are really, really cocking up this planet. Okay, Misty, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Misty Barnes?
Is anybody watching Parliament right now?
Can you hear me, Misty Barnes?
I can hear you, Olly.
Good man. Just 1 second. Who was that? Who said who can hear? Who's watching Parliament right now? What's going on?
It's Ben. It's Ben.
Ben.
What's going on in Parliament?
That's Benjamin Jenkins from NIBEV News. What's going on, Ben?
Oh, Theresa May's completely capitulated. Do you know when I said to you this is just an opening gambit and they want it to be refused so they can do hard Brexit?
Right.
In
yes.
Parliament today, she's completely given in on so many things to the Brexit.
Four amendments, I understand.
It's glorious watching it happen. It's fantastic.
Oh wow! Wow! This is awesome.
It's going really well today. Anna Soubry got up and made the biggest mistake she's made in
such as
career.
what? Such as what? Breathing? What?
Banging on about how the single market was Margaret Thatcher's greatest achievement, which is the last thing liberal left-wing Remainers need to hear.
That's right. That's right.
Well, I don't want to support Margaret Thatcher, so I'm currently having massive arguments with all of the followers of NIBEV News going, this can't be true. And I'm sending them the text to the Mansion House speech Margaret Thatcher made in 1987 entitled Opening Up the Single Market, and going, she says it right there in her own words, guys. You know, when Margaret Thatcher said Tony Blair was her greatest achievement, she was wrong. Momentum is Margaret Thatcher's greatest achievement.
Wow.
Oh, they
wow.
like being told that. Not one little bit.
Okay, fantastic. Oh my God, what a day, huh? What an incredible day. Okay, so we've not in.
Today,
Go on, sorry.
It's a really good day today. Is like I like when I see the presidents of Russia and America being friendly with each other instead of threatening each other with nuclear devices, I just feel safer, as a human being on a planet that's filled with weapons that could destroy the planet.
Okay, all right. Look, Ben, bless you, mate. I've got a guest on the show tonight, and I want to get to him, but I also want to get through some of this news, and I very, very much appreciate that tip. So let me just quickly read some of this, just so that we've got it. Express Brexit Live May caves into Brexiteers as PM accepts all amendments before today's vote. Theresa May is facing a Brexit. Oh, hold on a sec. Sorry, that's. Oh, bloody hell, shut up. Theresa May is facing a Brexit showdown with Tory MPs determined to force her to abandon her controversial blueprint for leaving the EU. MPs will today vote, or are voting this evening, I think, on a series of Commons amendments, hoping to wreck her plan for a common rule book. It's not her plan. It's Angela Merkel's plan! Covering a new UK-EU free trade area. Even if the measures do not pass, the rebels hope the show of strength will be enough to pressure the Prime Minister into retreat. However, this afternoon, Brexiteers claimed by saying the government has accepted all the changes to the customs bill. The Tory divide over Brexit deepened last night after ex-Minister and Arch Remainer Justine Greening called for a second referendum. Second chance of democracy. She claimed to a third, actually. Hold on, Ben, hold on, please. She claimed Theresa May's controversial Brexit plan, agreed at Chequers by her cabinet earlier this month, was the worst of both worlds. And she said, having read the detail, this deal is a fudge I can't support. Even the Prince of Darkness, Peter Mandelson, said it was a lot of crap. Anyway, so yeah, that's looking good. I think we're going to know really, really more in the morning off the back of these votes. Yeah, but it is definitely really, really looking up. In the meantime, really the surefire story is Donald Trump defends summit with Vladimir Putin as a bold American diplomacy, and he's defended his decision to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin despite the ongoing special counsel investigation of Russia's alleged attempt to influence the 2016 presidential election. We've seen the clip. Thank you very much, and thank you, Ben. I want to get straight on now with my chat with Scouse Jack. Bless him. Can you hear me, Misty Barnes?
Good evening, Olly.
Hello, mate. Okay. I suppose the way to lead into this conversation, this actually cropped up this particular show off the back of the theme of this show anyway, off the back of the latest in so many moves to normalize paedophilia, which is what is going on.
I'm outraged, Olly.
Now, hold on, bear with me. Let me just read this. Paedophilia, a sexual orientation like being straight or gay. How insulting is that for a start? That's their headline, yeah. The Independent. The not so independent. The Independent of brain. A paedophile has the same ingrained attraction that a heterosexual female may feel towards a male. I don't give a stuff. What about the kid? Anyway, they go on to say paedophilia is a sexual orientation like being straight or gay, according to a criminal psychologist. And he is criminal. I'll tell you what, if he thinks this. The idea that sexual attraction to children is an orientation is highly controversial. Yeah, guess what? As it suggests that offenders cannot change. No, cut off their bollocks, then they'll change. But writing on the Reddit networking website, the psychologist said it was possible to treat child sex abusers on the understanding that the attraction may always remain. The psychologist set up the Ask Me Anything thread on Reddit. Their identity was not revealed, but was verified by the website. Curious. Asked, can paedophiles actually change? The expert wrote, I believe paedophilic disorder is a sexual orientation with individuals that are attracted to child features. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. In other words, an individual with paedophilia has the same ingrained attraction that a heterosexual female may feel towards a male, or a homosexual feels towards their same gender. I don't know how you can class this in the same. We know that individuals with paedophilia may engage in sexual behavior with adults. For some, they may use this as cognitive distortion to explain away their sexualization of prepubescent children. Does that make it right? However, the psychologist stressed in a later edit they had not meant to imply paedophiles could not be treated to an extent. Have you heard any condemnation yet in this story, the way it's been written by this mainstream newspaper? An individual can have paedophilic interests without ever acting on these behaviorally. However, as I am working with criminal offenders, my experience is entirely weighted to those who have engaged in this behaviorally. The psychiatrist said they focused on 3 main areas when trying to treat a child sex abuser. 1, do you understand who can and can't provide consent? How will you go through and identify this? 2, hold on a sec. I'm going to put somebody on mute there because they aren't muting themselves. Just a sec. Okay. 2, can you identify the risks or situations which would increase when you engage in sexual activity with someone who can't provide consent? And can you avoid these or limit them? Hold on a sec. Who isn't muting their mic? Please mute your mic when you're not talking, people. 3, what can you focus on? Oh, God, blimey. I'm just going to have to turn off Discord because somebody...
I think it's me, sorry.
There we go. All right, okay. You can't hear you now. 3, what can you focus on positive in your life which can replace or mitigate when you may be most likely to offend? What are some things you can do which are adaptive to help you in the long run? In May 2015, research from the National Crime Agency suggested 250,000 men in the UK could be considered true paedophiles, adults who are attracted to prepubescent girls less than 12 years old. No, not less than 12 years old. Prepubescent. It is a disease, it is a trait, it is not a choice. They haven't chosen to change, but they can learn how to live responsibly with their sexual desires. Petra Schumann, who worked with a scheme in Germany called Project Dunkelfeld, which allows individuals to anonymously contact therapists to help them control their sexual urges towards children. Last year, a self-confessed pedophile, Todd Nickerson, a freelance graphic designer from Tennessee, caused uproar after writing an article asking people to be understanding of his sexual orientation. Called, I'm a pedophile, you're the monsters, the piece explained how he believed his molestation as a child was the reason he is now sexually attracted to young girls. He also mentioned his membership of the Virtuous Pedophiles Forum, an online community of pedophiles who have vowed never to act on their sexual urges. In July, oh, blimey, who's that? I'm just going to have to mute. I'm just going to have to mute everybody.
Yeah, sorry, I can't.
Please mute yourselves, folks, when you're not speaking, because otherwise I just can't really do a show, can I? The idea of treating paedophilia as a disease has long been controversial. In 2013, Donald Finklater of the child protection charity, the Lucy Faithful Foundation, said there may be some vulnerabilities that could be genetic, but normally there are some significant events in a person's life. A sexually abused, a bullying environment, I believe it is learned and can be unlearned. Where in all of that is the angle about looking after the child, i.e. the one that is just walking down the street, doing nothing wrong, innocent little kid, and suddenly plucked into a car and then God knows what's going on? What about looking out for them? These people are adults. I don't care whether they can't control it. If they can't, then chop them off. Chop them off. And if they really go for it, and it's proven, then hang them. Why should we even pay for them? Protect the kids. And not only the kids, but the society. I don't know. Okay, am I over the top? Am I over the top? Scouse Jack, Misty, God bless you. Tell me, what do you think about this? What do you think of the tone of this article?
I'm furious. I'm the child that was is been abused as a child, all forms of abuse in a family home and in a boarding school at the hands of the establishment. Now, when, as far as I'm concerned, if you take a child's right, you haven't got a right, and you should be sent off to the NHS labs to cure children's diseases. Because what these councils are doing now is they're putting people's communities' children at risk, right? Putting paedophiles back in the community. And I've done many lives on my Facebook shouting this, and you've got social workers removing children on future risk of harm. Now, and you've got also women losing their children because they've been abused as a child. Now, this is about the child, and I campaign for this all over my Facebook lives. You know, let's cure children's diseases, empty them prisons, and put them all down to the NHS labs to get them untested drugs and to see if we can cure diseases. You know, everybody wants to live forever. You know, it's outrageous. What about the child? What about the child's right? You know, I'm 44 years of age, still dealing with my past. You know, ignored by the state. My child was wrongfully removed by the state. Where was my child meant to go? You got people like Jimmy Savile and all the rest of them, the MPs in the past, just willy-nilly, oh, there's the keys, do what you like. No,
That's right.
Where are
That's
all
right.
these children going?
Jimmy
These
Savile.
kids go missing abroad.
Jimmy Savile, for the record, a lot of you know who he is. Stateside, maybe you're not so sure. He was a knight of the realm. A lot of people reckon, including me, I believe, that he was knighted for services to VIP paedophilia, procuring kids for VIPs. I may be wrong, but my God, there's a lot of smoke to suggest that that is the case. This guy was allowed to roam around NHS hospitals, raping incapacitated patients, going into the morgues and performing necrophilia.
It's outrageous. And how can you reform
He was a
someone
BBC
like that?
star. The BBC covered it up for decades. For decades. That's the boys' buggering club. That's BBC News.
The Kenneth Clark, the then Chancellor of the Exchequer, gave Jimmy Savile the keys to Broadmoor Hospital.
That's right. He was given the keys.
There's question marks on the Ken Clark.
He was given the keys.
Marks on the Ken Clark.
Yeah. Whoa. Hold on a sec. It was Edwina Curry, actually, who was the minister that gave him access to Broadmoor, which is a mental institution in the UK, and he was given the keys. To do what? Anyway, please, Scouse Jack, please do carry on. Misty Barnes is also known as Scouse Jack.
Years up down this country, it's been a paedophile haven. You know, all the kids have been affected. They've all gone on in their lives to have children and still not dealt with their past and still not spoke out. And they're listening and they're reading stuff like this in the tabloids. Do you know what I mean? I don't understand why people are paying for a TV license. I really don't get it.
No, that's right. Absolutely.
They're like rats in a sack, mate, and they're quick enough to run around knocking on doors when they want votes. But when you turn out on a Spencer's Day and the place is packed to the rafters, and then you've got it on a child, right, and there's about 5 or 6 in there. Do you know what I mean? Lord Beecham and Lord Foulkes bend over backwards for kids in this country. You know, why can't we build on that? You know, and start changing policies and changing laws properly, and start using these paedophiles £40,000 a year to keep them in prison. The police force said there's not enough money and resource because central government are squeezing it. The children surely need a protector. The police need as much budget as they can and as many spaces as they can in prison. You know, it's outrageous. You know, I'm still a child and I still have no accountability for my abuse. You know, because of the establishment. You know, at the hands of the establishment.
Now hold on a sec. Whoa. I'm going to bring the other folks into this in about 10 minutes' time. But I just want to ask. A few questions first of all, because my guest Misty is a child protection campaigner specifically, and so he really does know what he's talking about. Of course, he's qualified from his own personal experience as well. What would you say,
Olly? But I'm just passionate now.
God bless you, mate. What would you say to my claim that not only is paedophilia institutionalized, endemic in UK society, but also that the powers that be are trying on purpose as a process to normalize paedophilia?
It's outrageous, Olly. It's outrageous, you know. I mean, there's children in the care system going missing. You know, where are the children going, mate? Do you know what I mean? Why are there targets for adoptions? You know, it's ruthless. Why can't we just stop it all? You know, but the power's in the people, and I've campaigned for years on this, over half a decade on this. You know, you got people who are patriotic, banged up, and you got paedophiles coming out of court with community support sentences. Our prisons are full. Do you know, where's the right of the child?
That's right.
The right of the child's safety is of paramount. This is what social services say. They remove children on future risk of harm. Yet you want to put these back in our community. We've got letting agents homing them. You're paying letting agents to make checks, and they're not even making. And they're putting paedophiles in the community, putting everybody's children at risk. Who does the family? Does the family go for accountability? You know, is it the council? Is it the courts? You know, you just can't have it. You just can't have it, and you can't. We're talking 2, 3, 4, 5 times offending. You know, the same people on a revolving door. Thousands upon millions of pounds, week in, week out, wasted money. They're not even on a programme in jail. Banged up, and that's it.
Ollie, can I just say one word?
Go on. That's Jeff.
Islam.
Go to Jeff. Go on.
Islam.
Hold on. Whoa. What's that got to do with it being normalised?
What?
Islam.
The question is.
Okay, all right. Your line is very, very bad, and I have to say I've got real problems here with the stream going out. Look, folks, if you can.
What I was saying was, is there a link between Islam and their the idea to normalise all this sort of stuff? Because it does seem like there's an awful lot of child rape gangs, a disproportionately high level of rapes and child molestings and things like that.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Some people reckon 1 million kids in the UK have been victims to Pakistani child rape gangs. How high the figure is, of course, it's very, very hard to say. But we do know that off the back of Rotherham, where there were 2,100 cases, that's where the documentary 3 Girls was made, we know that the lady that compiled a report off the back of that, the official report, said that you will find that this problem is the case in every town, up and down the length and breadth of the country. What would you say to that, Misty?
The same woman's gone on to do Telford. The same woman has gone on to do Telford. 44 professionals in that J report refused to answer questions. And that woman has gone off to do the Telford inquiry as well. Them girls have still got no justice. We've got someone who's patriotic banged up. What is wrong with people in this country? Do you know what I mean, Ollie? Up and down this country, that's what we get. Professional avoidance. Why has a child got to die in this country before there's a serious case review? These investigations cost absolute thousands. The amount of times I put myself through for these inquiries, it's unprecedented how many times. And I'm more than capable to do it. I smacked the arse of my establishment, my local council, not only once. I pulled down its trousers and done it twice. You know, I've met the cabinet's top 10. They've had me on open top buses doing, you know, and got in the elected and re-elected, and just sent me off down the river. You know, the power's in the people. And I just think paedophilia, we've got people in this country who've not spoken out properly for the abuse they've suffered, and it's gone on to affect them in their adult lives, you know, and social services have gone in their home and taken their children because of that. They've still had no justice, they've still not spoke out, and now they're left grieving and expected to go and get a job. It's outrageous what's going on. And then it moves on. It moves on to our old people, Ollie. You know, and it's right within the government. It's social services, mate. Because I believe if you combat social services, I'm telling you, at a comfortable police force with loads of budget, zero tolerance on crime, send all them foreign inmates back home, send all them paedophiles off to the NHS labs. Now we can give the police budget to have a zero tolerance on crime. Because I'm sick of the gangs running around squirting and stabbing people, and the odd old people being beaten to a pulp. It's outrageous what's going on in this country.
The Pakistani child rape gang issue that we have, it is a problem. It's a massive, Jesus Christ, how big a problem could that be? It's the biggest problem the UK faces. Well, how big? How much of the paedophilia problem in the UK is that? Would you say as a percentage term? I mean, is this community out of sync with the rest of the community, or what?
I want to air this because
go on.
I want to air this because I've got no isms and no asms about me. Children are born every day and they don't ask to come into this world. I don't care what colour they are or where they're from.
No, that's right. Neither do I, by the way.
Statistics statistics, it's Asian people doing it. It does. You don't mean to tar all the same community. I've got quite a few Muslim friends who are disgusted to be hearing what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, why should they be tarnished?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yes,
black on black
right.
crime. You know, knife crimes, more black on black statistic level. Statistics, it's the black on black. Why have you got to tar the whole that black community? You know, one of these groups get up and they don't get over this racism thing, you know, and tarnish their right wing, their right wing. You know, I've got no isms and asms about me, and it's statistics. It is the Muslim community that is doing it. You know, I've got some wonderful Muslim friends.
Okay. We do know that this is endemic in Parliament as well, to the point that a chief whip under Ted Heath, and a lot of you already know what I'm going to play here, to the point that a whip under the Heath government admitted in 1995 that paedophilia, child rape, was used as a means to blackmail MPs, legislators, lawmen into supporting government policy. That was the government that took us into the EEC. Was
Olly,
Ted Heath, hold on, whoa. Was Ted Heath blackmailed? I don't know. But this is one of his whips who coincidentally worked with the father of the house as he is now, Ken Clark, who's welcome to come on this show and explain to me that he is not a paedophile. Because I'm very curious, Ken Clark. Very curious indeed. Steering committee member for Bilderberg that took us into the... Anyway, listen to this. This is Tim Fortescue telling us how they oil the rails of democracy in the UK.
Anyone with any sense who was in trouble would come to the whips and tell them the truth and say, no, I'm in a jam, can you help? It might be debt, it might be a scandal involving small boys, or any kind of scandal which a member seemed likely to be mixed up in. They'd come and ask if we could help, and if we could, we did. And we would do everything we can, because we would store up brownie points. That sounds a pretty nasty reason, but it's one of the reasons. Is if we can get a chap out of trouble, then he'll do as we ask forevermore.
It just beggars belief, doesn't it?
But we put them there, Olly.
Go on, Misty.
We elect them. We put them there.
Yeah, but we didn't. We don't expect them to do that, do we? I mean,
why don't we vote them out the minute we know?
Because how many people do know? How many people do know? Because I talk to people about this and they don't want to know. They would rather be in denial about it because they'd rather be in their comfort zone.
Olly, can I make a little point here?
Go on, Jeff.
Yeah, I noticed going back a few years ago, I don't know exactly when, but there was 2 MPs that were on the left, Labour, that were trying to lower the age of consent, down to about like 10 years old or something like that.
Look at Labour 99.
And that was Patricia Hewitt and Harriet Harman.
That's right.
I believe.
Yep. Later, the acting Labour leader. I put this independent article up on the Heart of British Politics earlier on Facebook, and somebody comments, "Oh yeah, that Tory scum." Oh yeah. Oh, Tory scum. It's cross-party, you moron. You think Cyril Smith was a Tory? He was a Liberal.
Also,
Harriet Harman was made acting Labour leader despite her links to Pi, the paedophile information exchange, which wanted to reduce the age of sexual consent to the age of 3.
Yeah, also, Olly, the EU, I seen an article about the EU. They were talking about completely abolishing the age of consent or something like that. And that was going back a while ago. So it seems to be left. But, I mean, it could be a problem.
We are getting really, really screwed with tonight on the audio. Can you hear all the clicks? Hey, GSHQ. Hey, Cheltenham. How you doing? All right. We'll talk about Prince Charles in a minute. Okay. Yeah, you can mute that, Facebook.
Women-
That bit when we talk about Prince Charles links to Jimmy Savile. You make me sick. They do. They play with the show. Every day they play with the show somehow. Anyway, carry on. Sorry. Misty, what did you want to say? What did you want to say to that?
I mean, look, Ollie, look at Amazon. Look,
Amazon?
Amazon.
What, the book company?
Amazon online shopping.
Right.
You can get children's sex dolls.
They don't sell them on Amazon, do they?
Intercepted at our customs.
They sell them on Amazon.
Not only that.
I mean, I wouldn't buy anything from Amazon anyway. It's, I'd rather go to a little bookshop. The guy, shop small, yeah? Don't shop big, shop small. But nonetheless, they're selling sex dolls. You've got to be joking they're selling child sex dolls. I know they can be bought, but from Amazon?
Ollie, jump on and have a look.
Unbelievable.
Not just that. There are now people saying that maybe we should.
This is Chris Boozy. Chris Boozy, God bless him. Hey, Chris, go on.
Yeah. People are now saying that it's not. They're talking about them being minor attracted people, and minor attracted people should have child sex dolls prescribed to them on the NHS,
glorifying it,
in order to give children in reality while they're trying to lower the age of consent.
Outrageous.
Hold on a second. Whoa. Let me just get this right. Who is saying that? Who is suggesting that child sex dolls be made available on the NHS so that pedos screw latex instead of children? Who is saying that?
There are actually psychologists that are actually trying to say that being a paedophile is a sexual orientation rather than actually being an element of criminality. But due to the fact it is criminalised, maybe we should facilitate them and aid them through the health service with their needs.
What about the child's right? What about the child's right? And the fact that I see it as nothing else but glorifying it. Just like you go onto the women of the UK when you go into the webcam rooms. There's women there dressed up as schoolgirls. It don't make sense, mate. That's glorifying paedophilia. What
That's
are you
right.
doing?
You're absolutely right. Miley Cyrus in a pop video, dressed like a baby in a nappy, in a cradle, in a whatnot, and she's there with legs akimbo. I mean, it just absolutely disgusting, absolutely obscene. And this is being planted. This is not an accident. That is MK Ultra. That is the CIA using Hollywood, as they always do. Hollywood like a wand, a magic wand. That's what it means. To program people into whatever it is that they want to think about today. So you don't want Trump? Oh no, we all want Hillary. And guess what Trump's doing? He's clearing out some of the paedophile problems in the States, as I understand. Go on, carry on, people.
Only a little bit. The level of child sex traffickers and paedophiles that have been arrested since Trump came to office, it exceeds, in the small time that he's been in office, it exceeds the past 3 presidencies combined.
It's what? Sorry, Chris? Chris,
you never hear that on mainstream media. Yeah, there's about thousands and thousands of paedophiles.
One sec, John. One sec. Sorry, Chris. I didn't understand what you meant. Say that again, please.
Okay, so the amount of paedophiles and child sex traffickers that have been arrested since Trump became president is about the same amount as the 3 previous presidents over their entire combined service
administrations, and he's done it in 18 months or something, 20 months.
Exactly.
That is a fascinating statistic. I didn't know that.
The child separation issue is so important, because he is demanding that if children are found with people who are saying that they're their parents, and there is a reasonable suspicion from the border officers that they are not related, that these children are to be separated for their own safety, and then while they do DNA tests to ensure that these are actually their parents and not traffickers.
Yeah, but don't stick them in cages, the children. Why are you sticking kids in cages?
This is the thing. Trump isn't sticking them in cages. It was Obama who did that. He's actually put it.
It's actually ICE
I've actually seen the accommodation that
carry
they got, and it is actually like a youth hostel, which isn't great, but it's a lot better than what the interim solution was under Obama, but then they were only in the cages a short time before they were sold on.
The fact is that these people are illegal immigrants. They run into somebody else's territory, and they have to be processed before they can leave the country or whatever. Or maybe they can stay in the country if they've got a fair reason on humanitarian terms to be there. And whilst they're working that out, they have to be somewhere. And the children are separated. Everybody is separated because, they can't all be in the same cell or whatever. That's just the logistics of it. America doesn't ask them to come and, basically invade the country. They don't ask them to do that. And yes, this whole scandal that's been, they've been trying to shame Trump with was exactly the same under previous administrations because of the rudiment, because of the logistics of it, basically. Carry on, please, Misty.
Ollie, look at it from this angle, right? So a lot of people that follow me in America, right? And I know a lot of...
Oh, you're breaking up, mate. You're breaking up. We can't hear you now. Oh, look. Okay, right. I'm just going to say something, just briefly, which is this. Look, you know what? If you like free speech, 1, stop paying for propaganda. Get rid of your bloody BBC license fee. You're supporting pedos and brino. 2, please chuck us a few quid. Really. If you want to hear some truth, not the usual baloney that you hear in the mainstream media, then please divert a few quid this way. I'd really, and I get bugger all to do this show, by the way. I've done hundreds of shows like this now, and for each show, on average, I get about, I don't know, a quid, couple of quid, something like that. That's it. It really is living on the breadline. And most of what goes into this show comes out of me, out of my pocket, and that's it. So if you want to help me to produce better audio, I need better bandwidth. I need better upload speed. Yeah, better upload bandwidth. But I need a fatter pipe without wanting to sound too rude. And to achieve that, I need to pay for it. Yeah, bandwidth costs money. And I also need a bit of software, which will help a lot in terms of being able to improve the quality. So look, please, if you do want stuff like this, then you know what? Don't just yes, share it. Yes, please. That's the most important thing we can do, of course. Get the awareness out there, but also bung us a few quid. For God's sake, bung us a few quid. Everything gets reinvested back into this show, and it will improve the audio, and then they won't be able to mess with us quite as easily. And you're getting clicks. I'm getting about 3 or 4 clicks per second in my ears. Yeah. And by the way, yes, I know I'm shouting a bit today. I do apologize. I have to admit, I'm a little bit hyper today. But yeah, so if you can bung us a few quid, paypal.me/Brexit. Paypal.me/Brexit. And by the way, Brexit is very, very important to this show. If you've not tuned into the show before, because to sort out any of these problems that we got to sort out Brexit first. Because if we can't control our own laws, then we really are lost. If we're going to put our hands in, put our lives in the hands of drunks like Juncker, then guess what? We're not going to get anything that we want. Our vote is diminished and goodness knows what. We got to get Brexit. So anyway, that's why paypal.me/Brexit. And I would really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Right, okay, sorry. Scouse, go on. You were breaking up very badly there, but you were saying that you are well-known stateside, and then you started breaking up.
Yeah, I just think that there's a lot of people in the States that have lost their children on a case for probabilities, and there it is. You know, people are coming in from other countries. Yeah, I just think that illegally with children taking huge risks. There's a lot of people in the States that have lost their children on a case for probabilities.
Okay, sorry, we got a bit of that was my fault. We got a bit of reverb there. Okay, we've also got we got John here, downliner. What would you like to say, sir?
I've just got one word, really. Adrenochrome.
A what?
Adrenochrome.
What's that?
But apparently, I mean, I've been doing a lot of research on it. It's a drug. You ever seen The Maze Runner, the film, The Maze Runner?
I've heard of it. I don't know that I watched it or not. I can't remember. Carry on.
Well, basically, that was a film about putting children in a maze to scare the hell out of them. Push them to the edge of fear so you could extract some kind of liquid from the back of their neck or something to fight a virus.
Yeah, that's what they do with satanic ritual abuse, isn't it? Scare the kids.
But adrenochrome is it's not fighting a virus. It's prolonging human life. I've always said, why do the good people only die young? Why are all the bastards in this thing? Sorry, why did they always live? I mean, look at David Rockefeller. He was 101 when he died. Why do the worst people in the world live longest?
That's another thing they've been normalizing is the having blood transfusions from young people. And it really makes you wonder if that's what happens with old Philip, for example, every time he goes in for another hip hop or whatever it is, if he gets a bit of a blood transfusion on the side. I don't know, but I seriously wonder it. And they do. You see this in the mainstream media as well, saying how a young person's blood, I've seen a few stories like this now, a young person's blood is actually a good way for an older person to be rejuvenated. They talk about this. They're normalizing it.
Ollie, can I give you a bit of statistical information on age of consent throughout the world? I've got Wikipedia up here, and it says that if you've got all these different countries, I've sorted them by age of consent, and the lowest is not age 11, amazingly. 11 years old, can you believe that? Down to the bottom, hang on a sec, I'm just scrolling down, and the highest age of consent is in Bahrain, where it's 21. There's massive variations throughout different countries, ranging from 21 all the way down to 11 for the age of consent, which is to me quite shocking.
Yes.
Angola, age 12. Philippines, age 12. Burkina Faso, age 13. Japan, 13.
Really?
It's quite incredible. And then Bulgaria, 14. That's in Europe. 14 years of age of consent.
I mean, your personality is only just started by that age.
That's right.
Yeah, it's incredible. Germany, 14. The age of consent in Germany, of all places, 14.
14?
14.
14?
14.
1-4.
Yeah.
In Germany.
Yeah, that's what it says on Wikipedia.
Bloody Angela Merkel, I'll tell you what. Incredible. Go on.
That's closer to home for you.
Chris, sorry?
Only a couple of years ago, the age of consent in Spain was 12. That's why a lot of our paedophiles in the UK used to go over to Spain to find themselves a youngster.
This is the age of consensual consent, it says, right? France.
Let's not forget Gary Glitter, who travelled.
That's right.
France, the age of consent is 15 in France. That's a year lower than ours. I believe it's 16 in the UK. Poland, 15. Romania, 15. It's quite incredible.
The thing is, though, also, there's a couple of things here. First of all, children are growing up a lot faster these days. Too fast, frankly. But they're growing up a lot faster, rightly or wrongly, than they used to. It seems to me that there's a big difference between a couple of teenagers having sex, and even that depends. For example, if you've got a boy and a girl who are within a couple of years of age of each other, the younger you get, an age gap of the same, the younger you get is bigger, isn't it? Relative speaking. So, for example, a 14-year-old girl is a completely different kind of a proposition to a 19-year-old boy, for example. Even though she's more mature than him in many ways, it seems to me that's a huge gap there. But if say she's 15 or even 14, if the boy is the same age, near as damn it, then actually that is more acceptable, is it not? If you, on the other hand, you have, say, a 16-year-old girl, let's say, is the age of consent in the UK, and a 25-year-old bloke, or anything above, well, 18, it seems to me, it's too much. It's getting outrageous and disgusting and horrid and paedophilic type, thing. But hebephilia, isn't it? Hebephilia in that. But if there is a difference between two, they're still children, really, aren't they? Post-pubescent or not, middle teenagers having sex, that is a completely different ball game to one of them having sex with somebody who is considerably older than them. No?
Yeah.
It is. It's not as simple as saying that should be the age of consent, is my opinion. No?
Well, Olly, in a lot of countries, they have something called Romeo-Juliet laws. There are areas of the US that have got them. And what that generally means is if someone is in a relationship, say school-age children, for example, and they're in a relationship and one of them goes over the age of consent while one of them is under, they can register with the state that they were in a relationship, and neither one of them will get there'll be no prosecutions done because they just have to evidence that they've been in a relationship prior to one of them going over the age of consent in that way. And I personally think that that's maybe a sensible thing to have, because it's only kind of cuspal of someone, maybe it's most you can get is a 16 and an 18-year-old or something like that. You're not going to get any big major age differences, but you aren't having a 16-year-old, a 16-year-old and a 40-year-old isn't going to happen under those laws.
We're going to have more men in prison, more fathers in prison for murder, and mothers. That's what we're going to end up normalising it.
Well, yeah. Let's put it this way: I don't. If I had kids, I wouldn't advise doing anything with my kids before they can consent. Let's put it that way. Or maybe even after. What I'm about is that if they're normalising paedophilia and then someone takes it upon themselves to go and put themselves on someone else's child, the parents of that child, you imagine how many people are going to end up in prison? They're never going to have enough places for them.
Okay, let's take a few comments because I've been neglecting our commentators, and that's pretty uncool of me. So let's see what people are saying.
Chris, Chris, are you from the US?
No, I'm from the UK, but I will be emigrating to the US. I've got my wife's out there. So
okay, all right. Let me take a few comments. Joe Blogs, Ryan Coates. Personally, I don't think legality is the reason not to do it, and instead the driving factor should be common sense. Steve Freedom, they are not maturing faster. The agenda from the New World Order is to breed, but only non-whites are to be bred. And yeah, it kind of looks like that, doesn't it? Yeah, but apparently legally I wasn't able to consent, says Ryan Coates. Now he says, I lost my virginity when I was 12 to a 14-year-old girl. I knew what I was doing and I enjoyed it. And I have to say, I kind of do understand that side as well. I think it is very different, but whether you're a boy or a girl, and this is another confusion, isn't it? I was 15. She was 19. I told her I was 16, and it was awesome. It was actually beautiful. But it's not always the way, is it? And so that doesn't necessarily mean anything, I suppose. But it's very, very difficult, isn't it? But what we do know is that it shouldn't be normalized. And it should be between kids to discover themselves, not to be perverted by some old bastard. Anyway,
or old bitch. When you consider what the NSPCC has stated, they say that the reports of women abusing boys and men abusing girls, and it's all kind of comparable. And it has actually been suggested that there's actually a potential that more women are abusing children than men, purely on the grounds that the typical thing of a young boy, if he gets an older woman showing him the way, is less likely to report it.
I mean, I was abused sexually by a female, and that was in a boarding school. You know, it didn't realise it affected me until later on in life. I only like girls for hips.
You broke up there. You know? You broke up there.
I could never go with a woman a size 8 or 10 because it would feel like I'm doing something wrong. I wouldn't like it. You know, I think that's because I've been abused. I only like big women to a degree. You know.
Lorraine Simcox says, "Come on, Ollie. Survivors matter." Yeah, of course, survivors matter. We got one on here. Of course. Stuart Freedom, Ollie, please read my comments. Steve, I did read the one where you said I was shouting, and please stop shouting in my ear. I do apologize. You're right. I was a bit hyper. I do apologize. Too much coffee. Lorraine Simcox, Operation Public Interest, the Uprising event, 29th of July. Speakers Corner in London. Survivors United. We stand. Enough is enough. Lorraine, please call in and publicize that. This is a platform for people to call in and tell us what's going on. Do you know what she's talking about, Misty?
No, but I really want to know about it.
Lorraine, give us a link or something, please.
About it. It's Chatterboy, Chattergirl, and some other groups that are coming together to make a stand at Speaker's Corner against the exploitation of children.
That'd be fantastic. I'd love to speak. Brilliant. I'm going to probably end up going along, you know, look at my diary and have a look. But
Lorraine Simcox, please get involved. My guest is tagged at the top of this post. Please get in touch with him, with Misty. Take a few more comments.
As long as it's not a free Tommy event, that's fine.
Steve Freedom says, look, hold on a sec. Whoa. Tommy is inside because he's been publicising this stuff, John. As opposed to some of the people that he's been talking about are being let off.
I told you this yesterday, didn't I? The day before, I said it's been funded by the Middle East Forum.
Yeah, you did make that point to me.
25,000 people, and it's being funded by the Middle East Forum who support Israel against Palestine.
Does that mean that okay, that's dodgy. The fact that his legal counsel is being funded allegedly by Israel, who have a beef against the Muslim community, is dodgy. But on the other hand, that doesn't in itself make what he's done in any way wrong, does it?
No, I agree, but I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the protests that are happening in London, they're actually being organised by the MEF.
Who's that? MEF?
Middle East Forum.
Middle East Forum. And okay, so is it Middle East Forum? Is that a Muslim forum?
Well, no, it's a pro-Israel against Palestine movement. That's what makes sense.
Okay, it doesn't. It is odd. I agree with you. Okay, but we're not going to go off topic now. But actually, though, what he is talking about is extremely concerning, and he has, irrespective of that, the insinuation being that Israel is trying to create divide rule stuff, which could well be the case. I don't know, but actually, though, the attention that he's been, the light that he has shone on this problem has been important. No?
I agree, but he's tarring all Muslims with the same brush. You know, Jimmy Savile wasn't a Muslim, was he?
No, you know, that's right. That's right.
What about Melanie Shaw? Isn't Melanie Shaw more important than Tommy Robinson?
Melanie Shaw, imprisoned journalist.
Melanie Shaw is a genuine.
Go on.
A genuine cause. Melanie Shaw would be a genuine cause. I mean,
in prison off the back of a secret court, a secret trial, and put in prison for trying to expose paedophile rings. Go on. For trying what, John?
So just because she uncovered child abuse in young person's homes.
And if you haven't watched the video with John Wedger on this site, check it out. Yeah, check it out, John Wedger. Pedo. There's two actually. One of them is Pedo Cops, and I think the other one is Pedo Britain. And John Wedger talks about the police cover-ups and that angle on this, which again is disgusting. Ex-CID John Wedger. We had something like 90 cases of young girls, some of them, just 7 or 8 years old, going up through into their teens. You had about 90 cases or something he tried to report, and they just didn't want to know. Told him, drop it, John, drop it. We don't want to know. They don't want to do not want to investigate this stuff. Steve Freedom, they did the same with homosexuality. Firstly, sympathize, then make it criminal to criticize, then present it to children as normal. Now our children see nothing abnormal about it. Now the paedophiles are being presented in the same course of actions until paedophilia is normalized. This suits not only the ROP, but also the NWO sick puppets. That's a very interesting point, Steve. That's a very interesting point. It's one thing, is it not, for adults to decide that, they want to be homosexual, but it's a different thing entirely, isn't it, to teach it in schools? Or to say, do you identify as a lawnmower or something sexually? I mean, it's absolutely bloody ridiculous. Fallon Sarah Stanley Whitelock is a new name I haven't seen before. So hello, Fallon. Keep up telling the truth. It can't be ignored nor swept under the carpet. With a kiss. God bless you. Thank you. Richard Batt, can I pay my tax? I work all my life. Where the justice to people? Helen Lama. Why do you think perverts get such soft sentences? Yeah. Yeah. Go on. Who was going to say something there?
You could say the same thing about armed robbers.
Ollie,
if you're at the top and that's your thing, you're going to be soft, aren't you?
Well, that's right. But armed robbers probably get a much harder time, don't they? Unless it's executive crime, so it doesn't actually harm anybody. Right. Okay. Go on, Jeff.
Ollie.
Jeff.
Yeah. Looking through that list again about the ages of consent, various ages of consent from 11 to 21, as I said before. But at the bottom, I've sorted by age, and at the bottom there's a list of countries that says must be married rather than an age. For example, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, countries like that. But then the question has to be asked, how old have they got to be married? I know that in Islam, Muhammad was said to have married a girl at age 6 and then consummated the marriage at age 9. So if that's the case, well, that's incredibly young to be married.
I know Iran allows marriage as young as 8.
Yeah, that's utterly ridiculous.
Hasn't come through in you at that age.
Yeah. It's to me is warped, completely warped. There should be a sense. I think there should be a sense.
Hold on, Scouse Jack. Go on, Jeff.
Sorry, mate.
I think if you're going to have an age of consent, I think there should be around about 17, 18, possibly. I think they should raise the age of consent personally, and I don't really agree with this. Marriage. If the marriage is sort of ridiculously low age and what have you, then that's absurd in my opinion. But
we've got Lopi.
Well, may I say something?
Yeah, we got Lopi popped in too. Lopi Lou, God bless you. What would you like to say?
Got a couple of things I'd like to say. First of all, a Muslim world, if it bleeds, it can breed.
I'm sorry? Your line is very bad. Please speak closely to your microphone.
In a Muslim world, if it bleeds, it can breed. Really, how old in all?
If
yearly,
it bleeds, it can breed. Okay, all right, go on. Yeah.
Not a nice term, but yeah.
That's probably why cows and
and honestly, were saying when I come on about schools teaching that and having drag queens telling children about this and first sexes that are age 5. I can understand is as say teen, 14, 15, when they're hitting puberty, to talk about sexual education and possibly then the differences, but it's gone overboard when you're teaching 2, 3, and 4, 5-year-olds about
primary level.
Our friend is that the lady that you're looking at is a penis like a girl, and that it's okay as a boy to want to look and think like a girl, which genetically you'll never be a girl. Oh, right. They're creating children to do that. They're allowing parents to create their child. I mean, if a girl wanted to play with Tonka trucks in G.I. Joe men, she was a tomboy. She wasn't all of a sudden a boy.
Yes, that's right.
You know? And the same thing with the boys. If a boy wanted to play with dolls or dress up in a dress or skirt, just in playing their mom's high heels, doesn't mean he's gay. It means he likes to play dress up. Available. These labels are far too ridiculous, and we're allowing children to be totally screwed up because we want to label everything, and people are too stupid to just let nature take its course.
Yeah,
and they're extending those labels now.
That's right.
So.
Yeah, that's right.
Screw the LGBTQ, LMNOP, TRSTUV. Hang them all.
Yeah, Olly.
If you're a boy and you like boys, so what? With you, why do you gotta shove it in my face? You know.
Olly,
sorry.
Can I just say to everybody, please not to talk over each other, because I'm going to close up the show in just a second anyway. But because it really is a terrible, terrible line tonight with everyone, and I think there's a whole bunch of reasons for it. But anyway, yes, John, what were you going to say?
It's hard not to talk over someone. I don't know when they're finished.
No, John, please. What were you going to say? Okay, never mind.
Sorry, John. Yeah, that's what you said. I'm just saying, if you closing the show up in a minute. If you're in the UK today, watch What Is America, Channel 4. It's Sacha Baron Cohen. He's going to be exposing the Republicans and the Democrats for their idiocy.
For their idiocy? Hold on a sec. Sorry, I don't understand. What's he got to do with this?
Sacha Baron Cohen, you know, he played
no, I know. Ali G and all that. What's he got to do with it?
He's come back. He's got a new show.
Yeah, I know. What's he saying about this then?
Called What Is America?
But what's that got to do with this?
One of the parts is he's getting the Republicans to actually endorse giving kids guns at the age of 4 and 5, and they're all they're all endorsing it and showing it as a nursery rhyme to give kids guns.
Olly, can I make another point, please?
Go on, Jeff. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, John.
Right, I seen an article. I can't remember where, but it apparently said that the natural rate of homosexuality amongst human beings is about 4%. However, apparently the current rate is about 15%. So I don't know what's going on there, whether there's some sort of brainwashing going on in the schools to try and, pervert the minds of children and poison their minds or whatever, but it's certainly not a natural rate.
Contraceptive drugs.
Natural.
It's contraceptive drugs in the water supply.
Huh.
Yeah,
that's an interesting point. That's an interesting point from Boozy. Putting contraceptive and sterilization drugs and what have you in the water, in the milk, in goodness knows what else, in vaccines, who knows? Boozy, that is a good point. Elaborate, please.
When a woman is obviously on the pill, okay, she's taking on.
That's right.
She's taking on female. She's taking on female hormones.
Hormones, yeah.
Now those hormones are going into. She is also, when she's having her monthly flow, is putting those hormones down into the water supply. Huh. But those hormones are not filtered out of the water. So what is actually happening, and this is where people ridiculed.
It's the same with anti whatnots, isn't it?
About frog, and that is he was ridiculed about the gay frog thing, but actually it is affecting wildlife, where they are actually finding that these hormones are affecting the fertility of
fish, for example. Also, fish are coming out looking weird and stuff, aren't they?
Soya. No men should touch soya to save their life.
Soya.
Because that mimics, and the male body cannot cope with that level of body.
Oh, people, I need a decent telephony system. This is an absolute joke. This subject is so important, and I know what you're thinking out there. Is it worth listening to? Because I can't hear what they're saying. I need a decent telephony system. Please, please, please support this show. PayPal.me/Brexit. Please, please. Boozy is making a great point there about the fact that they're chucking, what's it, estrogen? Is it estrogen? Down the drain when we pee it out, when our women pee it out. The pill.
And estrogen coming out down the drain when for a woman's monthly flow. But also there's the big push for people to have soya and soy milk and all of that.
Yes.
That you notice if men have soy, that they become more temperamental, they become a lot more emotional. It is actually putting the female chemical, the body is recognizing it as estrogen, and that is actually affecting people. So that's where you get the term soy boy from, because they are becoming overly emotional and effeminate, and it's because of what they're ingesting.
Go on, Lopi.
So what basically you're saying that soy milk is making men into pussies, and women are pissing out estrogen, making everybody else have higher levels of estrogen when they drink water.
Yes, because of the concentrated levels of estrogen within the pill and all of that is actually, they've actually said through science that they've actually seen that that water is not, so the water level is having higher concentrations of it, and it doesn't need that big a high raise in concentration to affect a man, because a man doesn't normally have high levels of estrogen running, higher than normal levels of estrogen running through its body, whereas a woman would have high levels of that, whereas woman is unlikely to have a lot of testosterone going, tends to have a lot more testosterone. And we also know that testosterone peaks and troughs in a man. A man does actually have a cycle, so you actually have levels where your testosterone is at a dip, and obviously if your estrogen levels, you can have your estrogen levels go higher than your testosterone levels.
I know men have a bit of a menstruation period. I don't know if you men actually realize it, but I used to live with Jeff. He would get into bitch mode once in a while.
Hold on a sec. Hold on, Lopi, your audio is so bad. I can't hear what you're saying.
You know, the levels. The testosterone levels would change.
Okay, we're getting off the subject. I want to take a few more comments. Stuart Firth says Corbyn denies there is a problem with Pakistani men grooming white girls and says other communities commit crime too, after one of his own MPs quit for speaking out on the issue. That's right, Jane Champion. Was it Jane Champion who was sacked for daring. Sarah Champion. Jane Champion directed some movie, Chariots of Fire, years ago. So she's a producer or something. Anyway, John Davidson, why can't people understand that if a nation funds itself with a method other than taxation, then the Muslims would either leave or get a job? I don't really want this to be just about the Muslims, you know? I mean, I think, it does seem to me that the Muslims are being used as an excuse for these VIP pedophiles from the very, very top to get away with their crime. No?
That's the plan. That's the plan. That's why they get prioritized. You know, it's really happening. What about Greening? Look at all the paedophilic images he had on his phone, on his computer. What happened? Nothing.
We had the council.
Who is typing on their keyboard, banging their keyboard and not muting themselves? Come on. Some respect, please. Carry on. John, you were saying.
I said, what about Greening? Was it Dominic Greening? They found loads of paedophilic images, level 5, I think the MI5 said, didn't they? On his computer.
Yeah, that's right.
Nothing happened to him.
That's right. Well, I mean, look at Tony Blair, Miranda Blair, or Charles Linton, if you prefer. And then he put a D notice on Operation Ore. And the allegation is that Operation Ore that uncovered a list of about 3,000 or 4,000 paedophiles in the UK included names in the cabinet. I don't know. It was denoticed, yeah. We know they shut down the operation with Ted Heath. The chief constable of Wiltshire Police, who was in charge of that operation, I can't remember offhand. But that operation was closed down, despite the fact that the chief constable, the top cop for Wiltshire, said that he was 120% sure that Ted Heath was a paedophile. He was 120% sure. That's a top cop. That's one of the most important policemen in the country. And he was moved to a different squad with his inquiry shut down, having had to take a few months off on sick leave. Mike Veal, God bless him, he made that allegation against Ted Heath off the back of the evidence that he had found. I just want to wrap with you, Misty, to find out, please, sir, what you're doing now. I understand you're about to do a run to try and raise some awareness, yeah?
Yeah, what it is, I'm a children's rights campaigner, and at the minute I'm campaigning to canoe from to Paddington along the canals to raise money for the kids in the care system through a charity called Become. I've got a Just Giving page on my profile on Facebook of Misty Barnes. If you want to jump on my profile and have a look, scroll down and you'll have a look at what I'm doing. But I'm going to be leaving on the 17th of next month. And it's just going to be a meandering trip in a canoe and doing it live on Facebook. I'm trying to raise as much money as I can for Become, for the kids in care. Because I'm cracking an egg from the inside. So I do believe I'm going to become something for kids in the future going forward, you know?
Cool, bless you, man. Thank you. Misty, thank you very, very much indeed for coming on the show. I do appreciate it. I want to leave on a slightly lighter note, yeah? I want to leave on a slightly lighter note if I can. And so I figured I would just play you a bit of old Donald the other day outside Checkers. A little exchange between him and a journalist from CNN, yeah?
Mr. President, since you attacked CNN, can I ask you a question?
John Roberts, go ahead, John.
Can I ask you a question?
No. John Roberts, go ahead. CNN's fake news. I don't take questions. I don't take questions from CNN. CNN is fake news. I don't take questions from CNN. John Roberts of Fox. Let's go to a real network. John, let's go.
Well, we're a real network too, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Yo! All righty. Thank you, sir, Mr. President. You're a breath of fresh air.
Olly, I'm going to love you and leave you because I'm busy doing other stuff with this canoeing. Thanks for having me tonight.
God bless you, man.
I look forward to coming on the show again.
God bless you. Now, support this man, yeah? Support this man. You can see he's tagged up at the top of this post. on the Facebook one anyway. So go to his Facebook page.
Fantastic.
And check him out. And he's a good geezer. Thanks for coming back on, Misty. You always have a platform on this show, sir. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Ollie. I'll see you soon.
Misty, if you ever want to meet up, I'm only in Purfleet, so we can have a chat about these kind of things if you want.
Fantastic. I'd love to come and meet up with you and have a chat.
Chris Boozy, God bless him, who ran for DVP, yeah? Got about 5 votes. Oh, blimey, I tell you what, but he's a good one. Thank you, Downliner. Thank you, John. God bless you. And Lopey Lou, thank you. I had to mute. Oh, yeah. And Predator Jeff. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you. You're a great support for this show. I really appreciate it, mate.
Cheers, Ollie. It's an honour to be on your show, mate.
Oh, mate, it's an honour to have you on, man. And thank you, everybody. Thank you all for your comments, yeah? Oh, hold on. Yeah. Right, okay. You've been checking out Daily Chaos with me, Olly Connolly. See you tomorrow at 7. What's going on tomorrow? I'll tell you what's going on tomorrow. Ben Jenkins from Nye Bevan, who was on earlier, and thank you, by the way, Ben, for giving us an update on what's going on with Theresa Bloody Maybe. I look forward to talking to you tomorrow, mate. We're going to be talking about, because he really knows a lot in Nye Bevan News, yeah, he knows a lot about the Labour Party. We're going to be talking about what happened to the Labour Party post John Smith. And if you know anything about recent politics, then me just mentioning John Smith, you'll probably be wondering why he died. He was a good man, was John Smith, it seems to me. So that's Ben tomorrow. And then on Wednesday, Daryl Goodliff is coming in for a debate about Farage or Batten for UKIP leader. Okay, see you tomorrow, 7. God bless you. All right, here's to us and bugger plutocracy.